I'm going to continue discussing the pens. I already told you about someone gave me some pens that belonged to her father that had been in a desk drawer for a long time, and she gave them to me. And one of the pens in there had this on the cap. Now you know what I'm talking about, right? This is a Montblanc. This is a 242, which is a fairly small pen. 242. I think we discussed those numbers before with some other reviews. 242. 2 is the tier. 1, the 100 range, 146, 149, 144, etc. are the Meisterstück pens. 4 is the filling mechanism. So 242 has the same filling mechanism as a 149. And 2 is the nib. And I believe that because this is a fairly small nib. It's not nearly as large as that of a 146, for example. Okay, now the most beautiful thing about this is the finish. Montblanc, what do you think about? Black pen, right? Well, this is brown striated. Isn't that nice? I think it's beautiful. The clip, I'm guessing this was gold plating at some point, maybe with a second tier pen, I'm not absolutely sure, but it's worn off a little bit near this part, but still it's pretty nice. The snowflake or the mountain top or whatever you like to call that Montblanc logo yellowed a little bit, but it's still very clear. It's crisp. What I love is that on top here they use the same material as for the entire pen, so it's not black, it's actually the same striated brown thing for that little dome. Looks very cool. Nice center band, and then there's something went wrong with this cap. There's some type of grooves in there. It almost looks like someone just sort of ground it with his teeth, which is a bit disturbing, but I that's the only explanation I have. There is a small crack in there, which doesn't run all the way to the center band. I'll have to see whether I can find someone who can fix that. It's not a huge crack, and it's fairly hard, so it doesn't really seem to split any further. So that's it. Cap screws on there. Depending on where you start, it's not necessarily the easiest, but it does screw in there. Maybe a little snag on the thread somewhere. And you have a blind cap. Screw it off. Piston turning knob. Piston works just fine. Draws up a full load of ink. I think about 0.8 of a milliliter. This is a small pen, so 0.8 of a milliliter is not bad at all. I mean, what would you know? Here's a Parker 51, which is not a huge pen, but it's not small either. As you can see, this 242 is quite a bit smaller. Very decent amount of ink. Nib. Nib says, I know what it says, just want to make sure I don't make any errors while I'm reading it. Nib says Montblanc has that snowflake and says 14C, 14 karat. Then it says Montblanc again, and it says 585 for 14 carats of gold. The feed looks kind of nice. This is not going to work. Doesn't really matter. Has some vertical grooves parallel to the nib. Looks kind of nice. So, what do I like about it? Everything. I mean, come on. Ooh. Look at this. Look at how nice the brown striated stuff works out. There's some marbling. It's very nice. It's a small pen. You know, small size, not a very big one, but that's okay. Nib, wow, very cool nib. Was a little scratchy, had to work a little bit on tie and alignment. At some point, they just sort of snapped in place. Beautiful. Gives a little bit of feedback, but I've got to tell you, it's very nice. Got some. I'm using it right now just to do a bit of a. I'm going to do a full-fledged writing sample later on, but just to give you a bit of an idea. Flex. Not a wet noodle, Not a huge amount of flex, but it's definitely springy, one of those nice old-fashioned vintage nibs. Great stuff. Great stuff. And also ink. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Is it leaking? No. I don't know. I don't know. Suddenly we got a lot of ink. Just grab a cloth here. Very nice pen. Very, very nice. So I'm going to do a writing sample next. There's really nothing I dislike about the pen. I don't really see how anyone could dislike something. So just do a writing sample, show you how it looks when it writes, and that's all there's to it. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, the Montblanc 242. Brown striated nib. Well, I can't find the marking. Seemed like a fine or a medium to me. Ink is Waterman Florida Blue. Now Serenité, but still writing. Writing is a pleasure and a joy. Nice and smooth. Don't want to push this nib too far. It's a nice old vintage Montblanc, but you can see there's definitely line variation. I like it. It had a bit of feedback at first. I checked the tine alignment and made some slight alterations there. And then I just very briefly put this in very, very fine micro mesh, and it's a lot better now. So I really like it. I don't seem to review a whole lot of pens. I can't talk and write at the same time. Jumps who, what, where. That was just fast writing. I don't really see any skipping. That's really noticeable. I seem to review a lot of pens that I actually like, don't I? I guess I'm just lucky. There we go. Let's check out the wetness. Yep, just the way I like it. Nice, even patch of ink. Pretty wet. Not excessively so, just nice. People, I think this is a very, very nice find. Montblanc 242. Be a little gentle with it, but beautiful little pen. Very, very nice. Some marbling there. Beautiful. Nice little pen. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.